Hey guys, welcome back to TAMIYA Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So obviously today, it's not TAMIYA Legends, it's Kyosho Legends, because it's the iconic Kyosho Optima Mid, the original. Such a really cool car and a game changer really, from the golden era of RC timeline. Completely track-based car from Kyosho. That superseded the original Optima. Belt driven, mid motor, fully adjustable, just a cool piece of kit. And then what evolved from this car after that, with the turbo and the special and the custom and whatever else. Kyosho's got a hell of a timeline for racing cars, you know, taking it a bit further to the ZXs, ZXRs and things like that. And then even still going strong today, aren't they? So yeah, very cool to have this original. So a massive thank you to David, who actually gave me this car. He actually built it from spares, which is just incredible. He's got a lot of Kyosho stuff in his own collection, which is superb. So yeah, I've been sat on this ages, and that's because I never ordered the stuff for it. I just needed the reproduction wheels, tyres, sorry, and a body shell and decals, and I was just always I never got around to doing it because obviously money's a bit tight, and I don't know, it's a real strange one, because when I got it I was like, this is so cool, just get the wheels, the body shell, the bits I've just said, and all of a sudden you've got this car finished straight into the collection. And there was just always other stuff that I bought. Anyway, finally got the bits and ordered. So a massive thank you to Marwan. You Kyosho boys will definitely know who Marwan is. If you don't, I'll put a link in this video's description to the Marwan website. Incredible stuff. This is where all this stuff's come from, and he does a lot more, and he's a lovely gentleman, and he's been going for a long time. So first up, we have the Optima Mid body set. Brilliant cut lines on it as well, considering for a reproduction. Also comes with an under tray, which is really cool. Now I'm not going to fit that today, but I may well do that in the future. So that's the body. Within that we have the wing. Great cut lines. Then we have the most important bit, or one of, which is the OT66 reproduction tyres. Just an exact copy of the Bridgestones from the original. So obviously we've got two pairs of those, and then we have the stunning decals from Marwan. Now, he did say in the box when I placed the order, he sent me some tracking information, and he said, looking forward to you getting it. I've put something else, a little extra in there for you. So I was like, I had no idea what it was until I opened the box. So as I was opening the box up, I could see something with the decals on it. I was like, what the hell? So he's actually sent me a pre-done shell and wing, which is just absolutely superb. So I thanked him via email for this, and I was thinking he might come back with a little bit of information, just telling me what it was. I've no idea. It's looks like it's been brush painted. Yeah, so it's not like 100% brand new, just finished, but I love it, and it saves me a job. So I'm going to keep the other one as spare, and I'm going to use this set. And with the spare one, I may well in the future, and again, this is just sort of just making this up as I go, but I may well have an attempt to convert the original mid to the turbo mid. So different chassis, countersunk screws, FRP, shock towers, sway bars, probably other things, but I can't remember, and obviously the different sort of livery that it has on it. So that may be a project for the future, but at least I've got the body set if I choose to do that. Or with the spare one, could even do a custom body shell. That could be kind of cool. Never thought of that. Anyway, so yeah, so there's an issue with this shell, which we'll talk about in a bit. So in this video, at the end of it, we're going to have it finished. It's not going to be perfect. It's going to be for the shelf. No intentions of running this. Obviously the new re of the Optima Mid is coming out soon. I am going to blast the wheels over just very lightly in a matte white colour, just to liven these up, and I am hoping to get some of the re wheels when it comes out, if they're the same, that is, and if not, these will be fine. Obviously we've got the tyres to change, tyre writing to do. I'm going to lower this car very slightly, front and back, so it sits better. Once I've done that, I'll have to alter the camber. What else is there? There's a couple of touch-ups on this shell to do. Now, I might as well talk about this now and then we'll get into the detail. When I put this on the car and I was having a look, something just didn't quite sit right with me. And I'm looking at it from all these angles. I'm like, something not quite right. Anyway, it took me a while to figure out. So it's not quite cut to the correct line. Was probably about 5mm extra on there, and that's because he's done that to get the decals on. The Optima Pro decals are a really funny thing. If you ever look at the box art picture, it's not the decals you actually got. They don't fit the same. Anyway, it's a well-known Kyosho problem. So I think that's why Marwan's just left that extra 5mm on so he can get those on. But for me personally, I find that too long now. It looks a bit too bulky. So what I'm going to do is we're going to be taking, because I've got a set of decals sent to me from David, who donated the car, and also obviously I've got the Marwan decals. So I've got 2 full sets. So what I am going to do, I'm going to take all these decals off, cut the correct cut line, and then put them on again. We are going to lose one of these lines. Doesn't matter to me at all. But I think that'll make the car look a little bit better for me anyway. Wing's perfect as it is. Just need to get some body clips and fasten it down. Right, that's enough dribble. So first part of call, take the wheels off. I'll take the tyres off the wheels, just give them a quick blast over in white. Once they're dry, we'll get back up, put the tyres on, and then we can do a tyre writing. And in between that, why don't I just get cracking? Right, so this is what we're doing quickly. So I'll whiz the old tyres off, just a very light blast over TS27, which is matte white, just to liven up and keep them sort of the same colour. Again, we'll address that in the future. Got the shocks off to put the internal spacers in, and that's pretty much it. Once we've got that done, we're going to have a look at the gear plate, the chassis plate, because I've got all the bits with a spur to put onto it, so I'll have to figure out how that all goes together. Right, so I've got a little bit of paint on the wheels, and what I did, I took the decals off and I've just trimmed to the correct cut lines on both sides now, which has given me the depth of the body I wanted. It's obviously, I think you can tell it's been painted in the wrong paint, so it would crack if you couldn't use this shell, because any severe bending on it, the paint will just crack. So I've also touched up the certain little areas in white. Once that's dry, I'm just going to get a black marker and just tidy up that line on the outside, make it a little bit sharper, and that's the body shell done. Oh, apart from obviously the decals to add at a later date. What I thought I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the internal spacers in the shocks. Now, a lot of people ask me what I use. On this particular one now, this is a TD4 parts tray, I think. You get these little spacers, some are used, some are not. So if you build a lot of kits, you get a lot of bits left over. So that's about 4.5mm, that, which is pretty much, that's how much I want to drop it by. So we've got 2 of these, and I've got 2 of these trees. So it's just a case of taking the shock apart, draining the oil, and then sliding the piston out, and then before you put it back in, obviously put the spacer on the piston rod and then put it back in, and then that limits the travel it's got. So instead of being like that when the spacer's in, it'll be like that, or something like that. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'll use the same size spacers on all 4 because the car wants to drop uniformly. So yeah, it's as simple as that. That's what I use. And then once I've done that, we'll come back and we'll have a look at this section of the car. Right, so that's the shocks done. They're at the new heights that I want. Now we're on to this bit, and these are the bits that David kindly sent me. So obviously we've got the polycarbonate gearbox cover, that needs cutting out, 3 holes putting in it, and get some screws for it. And then we've got these like washers and stuff and the spur gear to go on. Looks like there's a nut missing, which I should have myself. And then what I didn't realise, it looks like these have got some, it looks like the 3D printed battery holders. This is a bit that holds the, see if I can do this on camera, which the big battery tie wrap goes around like that. So yeah, looking at that, these have been cut. So I'll hopefully whiz those off now, put the 3D printed ones on, and then I can put these in position, which is just a nice other touch. So let's see if we can get all this together. Right, very happy with that. That all went together really well. So I've got 3D battery stays on. That allows me to put tyre wraps on. I know the tyre wraps are not really in the right position, but that doesn't matter. And then we've got the gearing on, so it's not 100% correct, but it's good enough for what this is. There's that little yellow piece that's missing, and it's a TAMIYA nut instead of the Kyosho one. I've also cut out the protector, taking the film off, and that's held on with 2 screws. So that's really cool. So next stage now is just to get the shocks back on this. Right, shocks back on and in position. Probably should have... I've taken a bit of a flyer on this, and obviously I've not checked the ride height of it yet, but you can see sort of the rear arms sort of horizontal with the chassis. If you do that, for me, you're never a million miles away. Pretty much the same with the front. I would normally paint that Kyosho in white, but it's a little bit worn. I might give it a go, I don't know. Probably won't do it in this video. And yeah, it's all still nice and free with that cover on. So that's basically the chassis as far as I can go. So I'm still waiting for the wheels. The paint's not really taking to them that well, but I think what we'll do now is we'll just cut those number decals out that we need and get that finished, and then we can mount the shell and wing and just wait for the wheels. Right, so that's the Bridgestone and the numbers on both sides now, just to fill that space up. I have gone round slightly on the windows just to sharpen those black lines up. So yeah, that is the shell and wing. Well, I've not even touched the wing, that's that done. But I'm still waiting for the wheels to dry. So yeah, I might as well mount this now. Right, that's the first time we've got the body work on. Now, I've had to make an extra coat up here. This is horrendous. I hate this bit of the Optima Mid. So I do need to have to tidy that up in a little bit. It kind of looks worse when it's on the car than it does off, but that allows the body to, because this bit was hitting on the gear cover. So that's basically that straight. Yeah, starting to look like a Mid, and that's the OT66 reproduction. Tyres on the wheels. Wheels not the best, they're too white, but again, don't care. Probably will be replacing them, and even if I don't, I don't really care, because it's going to look absolutely gorgeous on the shelf. So we do need to do a tyre writing, but I want to make sure this is all hardened before I put I'm sort of leaning on the tyre doing it. So while we're doing that, let's bang it on the car and we can see what the stance is like. Look at that thing. Oh my word, I've got a huge smile on my face right now. I love it, absolutely love it. Yeah, wheels are not fantastic, they are too white, but it looks way better than it did. Looks way better now I've trimmed that off as well, in my opinion. Ride height, I'm quite surprised at. Considering I've loaded it 5mm, it's still got a ton. I'll just do it from the other side. What a thing, what an absolute thing of beauty. What a classic. Damn. Absolutely gorgeous. God, I'm so happy. It's going to look way better once I do a tyre writing, because that really does take these tyres to the next level, because it's kind of all the way around. Yeah, this is just awesome. Absolutely awesome. It's funny, isn't it, how some cars make you very happy. Again, you know, this was... I never had one of these back in the day, but I was around them at certain times when I was younger, through my dad's work actually. So yeah, mega cool. Sorry, I'm just kind of sat here reminiscing now. That's don't make great video, does it? So yeah, let's whiz the tyres off and we'll get that tyre writing done. Right, and that's the tyre writing done. That took ages. There's a lot to get on this wheel though, but yeah, it's not perfect, it never is. It's my age, shaky hands, poor eyesight, but that's about as best as I can do now. But yeah, from really close up it might not look great, but when they're in the display cabinet they look absolutely gorgeous. Right, let's bang these on the car. And she's finished. And that is beautiful. Oh my goodness. See what I mean about that tyre writing on these tyres? It just absolutely adds 2 levels to these cars. Just such a good looking vintage buggy, this. I'm absolutely loving it. Now the wheels have hardened and that sort of matte white's come into it. And again, tyre writing with it a little bit lower than it was. The trimming on the body done, the new decals, just absolutely cock on. And that's the end of that one. That was a real pleasure today. Yeah. Just one of those childhood things, having this in front of me. It's not the first one I've had. But yeah, just such a cool buggy. From the, well, first of all, from the Kyosho timeline, and then just the golden era of RC timeline itself. Just such a big player in that. Beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. I will put the under tray on it at some point, because that keeps the body nice and tight and keeps the sides from lifting, because you can get it velcro and it'll just keep them dead flat. So I will do that at some point. It's just the only reason I didn't do it is because the standard Optima doesn't have countersunk screws. When it went to the turbo, that went countersunk. So obviously a lot easier to put an under tray on. So I'm not too sure what I would have to do with this one. But I'll figure it out and I will get it on at some point. Absolutely. Stick in the comments what you think, my friends. I mean, obviously this is predominantly a TAMIYA channel, but as your regulars know, I love all manufacturers of vintage RC and modern day. Not so much modern day, but yeah, just lovely to be able to show you this. Anyway, I better shut up. So my friends, as always, thanks so much for watching. It is honestly massively appreciated. If this is the first time you've stumbled across one of my videos, if you could give this one a thumbs up, go subscribe. What else do we do? And hit that notification bell buzzer for our weekly videos. That would be absolutely outstanding, my friends. And as always, look at that. Happy RCing.